Well, good evening, folks, and welcome back to the farm. Boy, it is just gorgeous out here this evening. Beautiful evening. It's just after 6 o'clock, and I haven't done a video in a couple of days. I've been super busy, and so here we are, 6 o'clock. Sun's just gonna go down here. We're kind of fighting daylight. It's really interesting considering where we are and what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, my buddy Robin from Bloom Family Farm is going to come over, and we're going to do a live discussion on time management on the farm. That one's going to be interesting because in farming, there's a lot of limiting factors, right? There's daylight, there's the weather, there's breakdowns, but ultimately it all comes down to the master limiting factor, and that's time. We all get the same 24 hours in every day. It's what we do with it that determines whether we're successful or not. So I better feed some sheep if I want to be successful. So one thing I thought would be kind of cool, since we're going to talk about time management tomorrow, is talk a little bit about what our routine looks like, because routine is a huge portion of time management. And so twice a day, I've been forking hay off of this bale into these feeders, except for the last 3 or 4 days. You can see over there where that grassy patch is. We did have a core of a round bale, but the horses weren't particularly keen on, so I tossed it over the sheep and that broke up the routine. Did that save me any time? Well, not really, because again, you break the routine, you find yourself just kind of wandering back and forth. What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be going? And then now I got to get back into the routine, get them forking it over. But anyway, so feed the sheep, feed the chickens, collect the eggs, bring all that over to the shop, and then we head over to the east side of the farm. We feed the horses and feed the lambs. We don't have any pigs right now. The bulls are fine for another couple of days. So this one's gonna be a quick one. I'm here in the chicken house, topped up the feeder. All the girls are upstairs. They're ready for the sun to go down. It's gonna be just beautiful. And they'll have breakfast ready for them in the morning. You see, this is one cool thing we did to our feeder. Last year did a whole bunch of videos on this about food waste, but you think about your routine and time management, you got to think about money management that goes along with it. And what we're noticing is that the chickens would scoop an awful lot of this grain and then just throw it on the floor and trample it, and it was costing us a pile of money. So I made this ring out of an old bottom or top of a barrel, sorry, and it just slides over there. They get their head in there, they peck a morsel, and they eat it. And they can't shovel like a duck bill, right? You can't shovel all your money out of your wallet and onto the ground. And it actually works pretty awesome. So if you're not doing that, but you're having troubles with grain waste, that might be a good thing. Now, in terms of a routine, what does that look like? Well, now I've only got to fill that every 2 days instead of every day. Now, of course, I'm telling you all this stuff about the routine because, I mean, this is super important to have, but it's also super important to understand the downfalls of the routine and getting in the routine. And then something happens, one little thing will trigger and unfold that entire routine your entire day. What is that for me today? Well, it was the round bale, but it's also this fella in here. Gotta let him out. Come on, buddy. Come on. This is Tucker. It's my in-laws' dog. They've gone for holiday for a couple of days, so we're in a dog sit. He's a little shy. He's likes the doghouse, so but I figured he might as well come for chores. That's not a normal part of things. You can hear the sheep over there are bellowing and they want a little taste of supper. But we're gonna do the horses and the donkey first. The reason I'm gonna do the horses and the donkey first is because when Elsie gets braying, boy oh boy, I mean you can hear that thing for 50 miles. So I put the question out the other day on our community page. How do you decide what order you do things in your daily chores? And one of the options was whoever clucks or hee-haws or moos or baas the loudest. I'm glad to see I'm not the only one that does that. I'm on my way over to the horses here. Boy, is that sky ever gorgeous, eh? Big pile of gravel. That's $700 worth of gravel. The reason that's there is for the post holes for the barn that's coming. 4th of March, we're scheduled to have the crew come in and start building the barn, and they need all this 40 millimeter crushed rock or fractured rock for the post holes. So pretty excited about that. That date, of course, is mission critical because Mama Bear's due on March 7th. So we're gonna get that project started and happening And then when we come back, they maybe have a day or two to finish off. And then we'll have baby, a barn. It's gonna be amazing. So these here, that's our mature lambs. Got their feeder all topped up. I'm just walking over to the shelter here to check their molasses lick tank. I usually fill this up on a Sunday, but it looks to me like, yeah, they got it down pretty far. So I'm gonna get a pail. It's nice weather out right now. Like it's just like 0 or -1, just gorgeous weather. So that molasses is gonna pour real nice. I could wait till Sunday, but I got time right now. I got a little bit of daylight. It's not in part of the routine, but if I don't, I mean, they've licked it down quicker than I would have expected. Why would they do that? How dare they? Well, the reason is maybe there's something in that bale that they're missing. Well, there absolutely is, because you can see over there they got a straw bale. That's what they've been chewing on the last couple of days instead of the hay that's been in the feeder. So they've been chewing on this straw bale and then going through molasses like crazy. So I gotta meet the need, as the producer, I gotta meet the needs of the sheep, dietary wise. So I get them a fresh pail of molasses. They pretty well trampled that down. They won't be eating that anymore. They'll be getting everything they need off of that bale. But now 300-400 yards away, I could easily chuck my molasses pail in the pickup or the back of the side-by-side and just drive it over there. But it is such a nice evening. I've been cooped up all day behind a computer. And that's one thing we're going to talk about tomorrow too, is time management when you have a full-time job and managing the farm in multi-income families and how that impacts everything. But no, it's just such a lovely evening. The weather's beautiful. We still got the daylight. I get a little last remnants of some vitamin D. Pack some heavy stuff around, get some exercise. Even though I'm huffing and puffing, I mean, it's good to get oxygen through the lungs, isn't it? You see the molasses just pours, just lovely here. I think the last time I filmed myself when I was doing this, I got a little carried away and I was thinking it was going to take a very long time, but I ended up spilling like 4 or 5 liters of molasses on the ground. So we're going to go ahead and shut that off right now, let it finish dripping, and then I'll pack this pail over. This molasses is quite heavy. That pail, 20-liter pail, is going to weigh about 38 pounds. So it's not super heavy, but heavy enough when you got to pack it way over there by hand. Shouldn't say have to, but when you decide to pack it way over there by hand, I guess. So now you might be wondering, do we do this routine the same time every day? Well, no. Sometimes this routine happens at 5 in the morning. Sometimes it happens in the middle of the day. Sometimes it happens before supper. Sometimes, like today, it happens just after supper. But most days, in fact, it happens after Charlotte goes to bed. So it's just by fortune today that I'm out here, got some daylight, get to enjoy the evening while Charlotte's in the bathtub. Because typically, I'd have to do all of these jobs with such little amount of time available and do it all in the dark. There, we're full. It might actually be the first time I ever poured molasses and didn't spill any. But pretty awesome stuff for a feed and mineral supplement for these sheep. They get 28% protein, all the minerals and everything they need. Molassified, so tons of energy. So it's pretty much our go-to. We don't have to feed any loose mineral, or we keep a salt lick out just for the sake of having a salt lick out, but largely they don't even touch it because I mean, look how anxious they are for that stuff, right? They get everything they need out of there. I've had some folks even say, well, of course they just lick it up. It's molasses, right? It tastes good. They're just gonna lick and lick and lick until that stuff's all gone. Well, sure, molasses might be the carrier, but I can confirm because I've tasted it. It doesn't taste good. It does not taste good. It doesn't taste like molasses. There's no maple syrup in this stuff. It's actually tastes more like balsamic vinaigrette. So the only reason they're going after it is because their bodies are telling them they need that protein, they need that mineral, they need those nutrients. So that's the cool thing about sheep and mineral, is it's intuitive, it's not flavor based. That's sheep all done. This little pen right, that's their pig pen. We usually keep a couple pigs in there over the summer. We don't do it in the wintertime. Keeping pigs in the wintertime when you don't have running water out here, and having to pack water is like taking your routine and flushing it down the toilet. It's just so inefficient. So we decided we're just gonna keep pigs over the spring and the summer and not have to fart around during the wintertime. And in fact, this coming year, we're not even gonna have pigs. We kind of got ahead of ourselves. We had like a pig and 3/4 in the freezer. So we've got lots left to get us through this whole summer and next winter. And then we'll get a set in the spring again the following year. The only thing I got left to do now is wash eggs and box them up, put them in the fridge. As far as daily routine tasks, that's probably one of the ones that takes the longest. So, I mean, obviously the weekends or whatever, when we're moving round bales and things around, that takes a while, but we only do that once a week or once every 10 days, that's fine. But washing eggs and boxing them up, getting them in the fridge, that's a half an hour of your day that it chews it up, right? So after that, then it's time for a cup of tea. So thanks for coming to do chores with me here today. I really am out of breath, man, oh man. But yeah, tune in tomorrow. We do her live. We're gonna have a glass of whiskey, have a good cigar, have a good chat about managing time on the farm. It's gonna be great. We'd love to have you there. We'd love to have you join the conversation, join the discussion with us. So tune in, whether it's our YouTube channel, Kirkfell Farm, or Bloom Family Farms YouTube channel. We're gonna be live streaming off both. So lots of opportunity. So but yeah, I'm gonna go wash eggs and then go for my cup of tea. So I'll let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening and we'll see you tomorrow.